welcome back to Pure Lottie. So today's video is a very special video for me. Today marks week 1 for Endometriosis Awareness Month. So today we will be creating this beautiful yellow look. Yellow is the colour for endo awareness, and we're actually going to go into my story. I don't think I've ever shared my story in detail, so this is a very personal video. And yeah, let's jump into this look and this video. But firstly, if you do like today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up down below because it really helps me out. And if you're new, don't forget to join my family, hit that subscribe button and change that notification bell to all so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alright, let's jump in. So just briefly before we jump into doing this look, I am going to do a voiceover in today's video just because I can go on a bit of a tangent sometimes and I want to try and keep this short for you guys. But we are going to go into detail my story, my personal experience. Please note this is my personal experience. This doesn't describe every single endometriosis warrior, but this is what it is like for me. So yeah. Today is week 1, as I said. I am going to be doing 5 videos, so 1 for each week of March for Endo Awareness Month. So I hope you enjoy this little mini series, and if you would like to see anything more about endometriosis, I have done actually 2 months worth of endo awareness on my YouTube previously. So I'll link the playlist up above for you, so if you want to see those videos you can. But let's jump into
My name is Charlotte and I am 31 years old. I have stage 4 endometriosis. At 14 years old, I was the only one among my friends who hadn't started my period. I felt left out and like I was never going to become a woman. If only I could go back to my 14-year-old self and let her know to enjoy the time without it, because her life is about to become a massive roller coaster ride. Doctors couldn't find anything wrong, but they did say it would be at least 12 more months before my reproductive system would be mature enough. A few weeks later, I started experiencing the most horrid stomach pains and was unable to stop throwing up. Thinking it was just a stomach bug, I ran to the toilet and I screamed in horror. Where had this blood come from? Am I dying? What is going on? My mum came rushing in, not expecting the hallway floor and the toilet floor to be covered in a trail of blood. After a few minutes, we realised this was my first period, and it was truly a horror scene. For 12 days, I was in agony. I couldn't keep anything down. Nothing was helping my pain or nausea. Doctors and hospitals weren't able to help other than telling me I was exaggerating or making it up. Over the next 18 months, each period got worse and worse. I was missing so much school, and it was affecting my complete immune system. I would catch anything, even if I didn't get close to anyone sick. The whole time, my mum stuck by my side. She went to emergency with me every month, and when I wasn't sick, she would be taking me to any doctors we could get into. Unfortunately, not one doctor believed what I was going through. My mum would sit there crying and begging them to do something to help me because she couldn't watch me be so sick anymore. The only reasons they could give us was I was young and will grow out of it, or it is all in my head, or I'm exaggerating. My teachers started getting involved and worried, especially after me fainting 7 times in one day from the intense pains. Even with their concern and involvement, the best answer we got was I was severely anemic. I accepted the fact that nothing was wrong, and I tried to live my life as best as I could when I was well. In October 2007, I met Morgan, now my husband. At first, I kept my illness hidden from him. I refused to eat around him because eating caused my nausea and pain to become worse, and I didn't want him to see me like that. After moving in with him in early Feb 2008, I wasn't able to keep my illness hidden anymore. He didn't understand what was wrong, and he would tell me there was nothing wrong with me. How could he believe me if the doctors didn't? Unfortunately, this same month, my mum was also diagnosed with kidney cancer, so my illness really didn't matter anymore. I just wanted my mum to get better. I attempted all versions of the contraceptive pill, hoping this would give me the relief I was needing, and I was hoping that my mum would get better. After having her kidney removed, she was then diagnosed with lung cancer. She became so unwell, she could no longer attend any of my appointments, so I had to do these by myself. The doctors were so nasty when I was alone, so I decided to stop all visits to any doctors until my mum would be able to take me again. From stopping my visits, I ran out of the pill, and I noticed that being off the pill, my pain was easier to deal with. On the 2nd of September 2008, at 9:40 a.m. in the morning, my mother took her last struggled breath with me standing by her side. At just 17, I'd lost my rock, my believer, my supporter. I fell into a deep, dark depression. I became angry and distant, and I didn't want to continue with life. The only thing holding me together was Morgan. Honestly, the next few years became a blur. Each emergency visit, a new doctor would comment on what they thought was wrong and give me something different to trial. There were times I was like a walking zombie, and others were like my hormones were so out of control, and it would just cause me more harm than good. We were then told having a child could help, or at least give me 9 months of relief. Believing the doctors, we decided to try having a baby. Not getting any better or getting pregnant, we started visiting dozens and dozens of doctors again. From public to private, anyone that would see me, we visited. None gave me any real answers, and they didn't give much time or effort into helping me. I started believing that it truly was in my head, when one day, my now sister-in-law experienced firsthand one of my major flare-ups. She saw me screaming in agony, sitting on the toilet, clutching my stomach, with a bucket in my hand, throwing up and fainting. She was horrified and stated that it looked like I was in labour. She already had 3 kids at this point, so it would be something that she would know what labour looks like. Hearing this gave me the strength to give a few more doctors a chance at helping me. Having actively tried for a baby for over 2 years, a doctor finally agreed to send me for a laparoscopy, because at my age, it shouldn't be taking this long to fall pregnant. He still didn't care about my symptoms, but I was willing to do anything to have some relief. I sat on the waiting list for ages before I finally got a surgery date. 4th of April 2012 finally came around. I had morning surgery and was let home the same day. They said they found mild endometriosis, but had burnt anything they could see, so I would have at least 2 to 4 years relief and would be my most fertile over the next 6 months. It took around 6 weeks to heal properly because of infections and my cuts reopening. At my post-op appointment, I was told briefly about endometriosis and given half a page of information on it. The first 3 months following surgery, my periods seemed to be worse than they were prior to surgery, but I put it down to healing and continued on with daily life. In 2013, I started working on my depression to see if that would help, because doctors assured me I shouldn't be experiencing any symptoms still. In December 2013, I started my weight loss journey in prep for my wedding coming up in October 2014. Between planning my DIY wedding, homeschooling my 16-year-old brother, and going to work, I really didn't have time to be so unwell, but my body was getting worse and worse as the weeks went on. Morgan and I decided it was time to start researching ourselves. We learnt a little about endometriosis, and Morgan became the supportive, helpful person I needed to fight for me when I couldn't fight for myself. After getting married on the 29th of October 2014, we had a 2-week honeymoon in Bali. Half the honeymoon, my husband spent caring for me. When we got home, we started visiting doctors again. The new reason for my illness was now my weight. After losing 30 kilos that year, we knew that was ridiculous. In the end, it was my weight loss doctor who sent a new referral to the hospital for me to be checked out again. Before attending my appointment, a few people spoke to us and stressed that Morgan should go with me and he should describe how much I should go through and how it was affecting him. Emphasis on the him, especially because we had just been married. Surprisingly enough, the appointment went well by following that advice. The doctor listened to him and agreed I definitely needed surgery to see if my endometriosis was back. 22nd of July 2015, I went in for my second laparoscopy. I was scheduled for a morning surgery, and I was getting more and more nervous as the time ticked by. 3 p.m. hit and I was finally called in. I woke up in recovery and was transferred to a ward for the night. My surgeon came past and advised me there was a lot of endometriosis and it was extremely deep, so she had to excise it rather than burn it out like normal. The next morning, the surgeon came past again to discuss what was done. Along with excising the massive amount of endometriosis that she had found, she also had to release one of my ovaries, which had become stuck. I was now a stage 4 endometriosis warrior, and I spent the next 3 to 4 days a week for the next 10 plus weeks in hospital. The days I wasn't in hospital and managed to go to work was still no way to live a life. I was so drugged up on so many pain meds, I could barely move and was struggling to function with the simplest of tasks. Whilst falling back into depression, I decided enough was enough and I started intensely researching. Every minute of every day that I was in bed or hospital-ridden, I was watching every video, reading every article, joining every Facebook group I could find. After 3 months, I'd learnt that everything I had known about endometriosis was either untrue or just the start of it. My next doctor's appointment, it was obvious that they didn't know anything about endometriosis. From my own research, I had found a few things I wanted to trial to see if it would help. So in November 2015, I started my endometriosis diet. This consisted of low FODMAP, lactose, gluten, dairy, soy, and egg-free, all meats, organic, hormone-free, and antibiotic-free. And within a few weeks, I was working more than being in hospital. I noticed if I attempted to eat anything that was not on my endo diet, I would end up having a massive flare-up that would take me at least a week to recover from. In December 2015, I received my MRI results. This scan was from the 13th of October. And in the 3 months from op to scan, they could see that my endo was back. It was like a massive kick in the gut. I refused to have any more surgery and instead decided I wanted to try the new endometriosis pill that had been approved in Australia, Visane, along with my diet to see if this would help. And Visane did help. From December 2015, the following 5 years, I had 50% of my life back. I attempted breaks from the meds and I would be straight back in hospital. I would stray from my endo diet and cause huge flare-ups. Being on Visane, I was able to stop the cocktail of pain and nausea meds. By 2021, I thought I had finally found my way of living until the meds stopped working. I knew that this was never a cure and this day would come, but I didn't realise that one day was going to be that soon. Since then, I've been working with my pelvic pain team, seeing multiple physios, dietitians, and trying everything to get my pain back to a manageable level, all without any luck. On the 1st of October 2021, I went in for an ultrasound. I knew it wasn't going to be good news with the amount of pain I had been consistently in, but I was praying it wouldn't be true. My endometriosis had spread like wildfire, and it has taken control over my body. With my left ovary now fused to my pelvic side wall and my bowel, it was at this point my team of doctors could no longer help me. We immediately started looking for a new doctor, and I increased my private health to have surgery with a private specialist. As the days went by, the more doctors and the more hospital visits, my husband and I had to sit down and decide what to do. I had to give up work. I could no longer function. Sitting for 8 hours was agonizing. The lack of sleep meant I was struggling to concentrate, and the lack of coverage meant I had no one to cover when I was too sick to work. In January 2022, I got my hospital records. It was, and it still is, very difficult, seeing everything I have been through and finding out things I never knew about. Reading exactly how much endometriosis has taken from my early adult years away from me, that doctors took choices away from me by not advising me all the details. These things I'm not quite ready to talk about yet. Because of the pandemic, the process is taking a lot longer to have an appointment, to organise surgery, to get any help. At this current time, I have been approved to be seen by my choice of private specialist, but I am still awaiting an appointment date and hopefully a surgery date. Now that I am not working, I have to nap during the day as my body is too sore to sleep for more than 2 to 3 hours at a time. As for pregnancy, I never did fall pregnant, which I'm thankful for, because having a child just to relieve my symptoms is not a reason to have a baby. We've accepted that we will never have biological kids and hope that one day I will be well enough so we get the chance to help innocent kids in the foster system. For now, we are taking it day by day, trying to find a permanent way for me to get my life back. Throughout my journey so far, I have lost so many friends and family and dealt with so many judgmental people that I knew it was time to share my story thus far. Because without awareness, people will never understand what we endo warriors go through, and without that, we will never get a cure. We may not be terminal, but is being alive but incapable of living, really living at all. For all the women out there with endometriosis, or may even have endo, I want you to know you are not alone. Please find a support group, start researching, and please visit an endometriosis specialist. A specialist is someone who deals with this disease day in and day out, not someone who sometimes deals with it. And most importantly, painful periods isn't normal. A hysterectomy will not cure you. Having a baby will not cure you. The only accurate way of diagnosis is through surgery. And lastly, but most importantly, there currently is no cure for endometriosis. This is my story.
So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I do appreciate it if you can keep any negative comments to yourself. This is my personal experience, as I said, so I do appreciate any support, awareness. I would really appreciate it if you do see this video and you have made it this far. If you could share this video out, I would really appreciate it. It doesn't necessarily have to be this video. If you can share anything about endometriosis, you can wear yellow, use endo hashtags for the month of March, we would truly appreciate it. We are trying to raise as much awareness as possible so we can help find a cure for endometriosis. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you look forward to next week's video. I hope you enjoy this little mini series, but if you did like today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up down below because it really helps me out. And if you're new, don't forget to join my family. Hit that subscribe button and change that notification bell to all so you don't miss any of my future videos. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!